Yes, guys. Hello. Welcome to the Spurs Related audio podcast and YouTube channel. I hope you're doing very well indeed on this Tuesday evening. And as always, wait, I'm in robot mode. I was about to say, and as always, we've got Andre alongside. Unless Andre's turned into, this British guy with the Peaky Blinder hat and the body warmer, then it's not Andre today, guys, I'm afraid.
Gilet.
But
it's a gilet.
Gilet. Okay, gilet. Right. And it's the British man himself with the body warmer and the gilet. It is Spurs talk show. Sean Butler alongside. Sean's come in lastminute.com as well because I need to get my life together and actually plan stuff in advance, but I obviously don't because that is the James from Spurs Related way. But Sean, thank you very much for joining me at such short notice. I know you've only got about 30 minutes, but I'm sure we'll get through a lot in 30 minutes. How you doing, mate?
I'm well, mate. I'm well. I'm excited for tomorrow. Chance to correct the trend. Chance to hopefully right some wrongs from Man United and then salvage some hope. I don't know. Or maybe not. Whatever happens. I think tomorrow a lot of questions might get put to bed. So be interesting.
For sure. Absolutely, Sean. Like we need to get put some of those wrongs to rights, maybe starting off with maybe Heung-min Son actually putting some proper studs on so he doesn't keep slipping over. Oh my goodness. I just don't know. Like he keeps slipping over at home, he keeps slipping over away. He's clearly Adidas's deal is giving him some kind of premium banana shoes or something. But anyway, that would be a start. And obviously, Conte, in my opinion, we'll get into it. I don't think his substitutions were right on Saturday at all. Maybe controversial, but I mean Kulusevski. I was at the game in the away end, and Kulusevski was Spurs' best player alongside Højbjerg. And he took him off and kept on who just kept falling over. But I'm sure we'll get into things. There's already 5, 6, 7 of you in here already with a few comments. Army, as always, saying COYS, big yourself up Army. Nicholas Collison's in here again. Says Sean Butler gets more places than I do. Need to up my game. Yeah, Sean Butler.
Everywhere I go.
He's Sean Butler. He wears a top Panagile. And Army's in here. I'm so sorry if you're on the Spotify audio. It's just horrendous. Probably absolutely awful if that's coming through your car radio or anything like that. But Army's saying Frank Kessie to Barca.
Spotify audio.
Well, Spotify.
What does that mean? You're on Spot. This is going live on a whole different platform.
Hey, this isn't going live. This does go on Spotify and Apple Pods. Now, I didn't actually give a disclaimer to you, Sean, or give a contract. So before we go ahead, Sean Butler, are you okay to be on the Spurs Related Spotify and Apple Pods?
Well, unfortunately, my relationship with Joe Rogan means that I can't be on it. What the hell?
Yeah, Jeff Bezos, you're Amazon only. I'm only allowed on Amazon Audio on a Tuesday night.
Stepping up the game.
Not
only is he the social media king, but he's out there on all sorts of Apple, iTunes, Spotify stuff. Like, what the hell's going on?
Listen, we were on Spotify Audio. We were on Spotify Audio. Keep saying Spotify Audio. I don't even know why I'm doing that. We were on Spotify podcasts before we were on YouTube.
Holy shit! So I'm on Spotify. Nice.
You're on Spotify and you're on Apple Pods, so you can add that. I reckon, right? Your walking thing would do well on Spotify, but without going on a tangent.
As featured on Spotify, YouTube.
Yeah, we used to have a little intro. I don't even know. I might have it saved. We used to have a little intro from Joe, who sometimes comes on the podcast and actually started it with me. And it kind of goes, "You're listening to Spurs Related live on." You can find us on Spotify, Apple Pods before our podcast. It was brilliant. But anyway,
nice.
Back on track because I know you've got.
Wait! Before you get back on track, do you have to put a disclaimer like all views are our own? Please don't take any financial advice from Spurs Related, any of that kind of shit. That's amazing. I can't believe you're on Spotify. I need to up my game. Spurs Talk Show is dropping the ball. This is insane. Carry on.
Maybe I've just let the cat out of the bag. Maybe I shouldn't be giving away too many more of my secrets. We actually got 250,000 people listening on Spotify. No, I'm joking. We haven't really. We've got less than YouTube, but it is still good to be on there anyway. Frank Kessie to Barca. It's always going to happen, wasn't it? Army. I mean, Kessier's not going to want to play in Europa League conference if we're lucky. Army, on your bike, Scott's in here. Big up, lads. COYS, big yourself up, Scott. Still love that profile picture of your dog on the mat. Hopefully, you don't have to wipe something on that after the Brighton game. But yeah, giving you some thoughts there. Bit weird thoughts actually on a Tuesday evening.
Strange,
Maybe I need to. Yeah,
you
very
had
strange.
a long day at work, mate.
I have actually, yeah. And it was all a bit of rush getting this sorted. Maybe I'm just going to let Sean Butler do the jokes. Maybe after he's cracked open some of that wine he showed me off stream as well. I'll tell you that for nothing.
It's unopened. It's unopened.
Yeah, that's why I said when you crack that open, it's obviously inevitable. When we start talking about that Man United game, I'll just hear the twisting in a minute.
Break the seal so you know it's real. Glang, 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 glang.
Oh, on to the second one. Good job. It was 2-1 at Tesco. Evening, guys. Brighton may have lost 5 in a row, but we all know Dr. Tottenham is making us south. Ghost house tomorrow night. Absolutely, Wembley. Unbelievable. 5 losses on the trot for Graham Potter's Brighton. Graham Potter, the absolute fraud manager that thinks he's Pep Guardiola, but English with a beard. It's absolutely embarrassing. But big up Wembley for being in there. And he's saying Son's playing with AstroTurfs. I didn't used to slip over on AstroTurfs on grass like that. He's playing with flip-flops or something. Honestly, it's unbelievable. Bobby K's in here. Big up the panel and everyone in the chat. COYS, no kidding, Nicholas, making us look like rookies. Bobby K, big yourself up, mate. You're on more podcasts than me nowadays. You say about Sean being on a lot of podcasts. Bobby K, honestly, sometimes
Bobby K, you're putting us all to shame, bro.
Bobby K's work ethic, he needs to be in that Spurs staff, honestly. But listen, Wembley's in here saying second game in just 4 days doesn't bode well. Kane will be in camel mode. Camel mode. That's unbelievable. Getting around the pitch. Which reminds me, who was that guy with that
spitting on people?
No, with that surname when I was last on. What was his name?
Rude Man.
Rude Man, we want Rude Man back in here. If Rude Man doesn't come in here today, the podcast is
Marcelino Rude Man.
But Mark Cousins is saying, big up lads, surely a W tomorrow. Mark, honestly, do not put any money on that for sure. And Bobby Gay saying, I'm a junkie, can't help it. Low, he absolutely loves it. You're going to get your kids on the podcast as well soon, I reckon. But listen, definitely don't count your chickens for tomorrow. We're getting to that. We're getting to the head-to-head records.
You sound relatively pessimistic.
Never me pessimistic, Sean. Never me pessimistic. We're going to win 4-0.
Then. Are you okay? Yeah. So we can put our house on it.
No. Again, what you say about the Spotify disclaimers, Sean, I might have to start making them in a minute because you're going to make me. You're going to get me making, A&R me and the likes of them putting money on, and I'll get court fees. But listen,
fair enough.
Back on track. Quick review of the Man United game. Sorry, guys, I wasn't on Saturday. I would say I've been slacking, but I haven't. I was actually at the game, like I said, so I couldn't even get in to do it on my phone because the signal in Manchester, they're like in the 1900s up there. They don't even have 4G when you come out the stadium. It's absolutely embarrassing. But poor Andre on his own, but then he's left me on his own, so that's 1-1. And we got Sean Butler here. Sean, Man United game Saturday, obviously. Yeah. You watched it. What were your thoughts? Who was awful? Who was good from Spurs? And I don't want to give you too many questions. I don't want to overwhelm you.
No, I can handle them all, mate. It's okay. Okay,
I'll give you another few. Why was Son slipping over? Why did Conte bring off Kulusevski? And also, who should Brighton? No, we'll leave the Brighton stuff. That'll do.
So I feel like the game was... the difference between...
Wait, sorry. I'm so sorry, Sean. But Rude Man is in the house. What's up, guys? Rude Man, pick yourself up. Come on. We need to do some kind of intro for Rude Man. I don't even know. What do you think about this? That's for you, Rude Man, you absolute frigging legend. Absolute guy. Everyone welcoming in. By the way, that was actually our old outro, so please don't turn off now. We are still live on Spurs Related. Mark Cousins said, I'll never put our money on us. Let us down too many times. But sorry, Sean. Sorry to interrupt. It was the legend Rude Man after all.
Yeah, good to see you, Rude Man. I think that the difference between the two teams was simply one man. That was Ronaldo, right? And if you look at the 3 goals that we conceded, the first one, maybe you could argue that Dyer wasn't close enough. Maybe you could make a case that Hugo Lloris's positioning wasn't great, but it's not a strong case for either one. It was just an absolute worldy strike. The second goal, for me, Reguilon just didn't play the offside trap correctly, but that's on him. And, and Ronaldo's just pounced. The third goal, I've looked at it 1,000 times, and I don't know if you can really blame. I don't know who to blame. I don't know because the marking was somewhat zonal, somewhat man-to-man. It probably was Romero's guy, but then it ended up being Doherty's guy. But either way, the ball landed on Ronaldo's head at 8 foot tall, 8 foot in the air. Right, the guy Ronaldo can just jump higher than anybody else. So I don't know if you can blame Romero or I mean, the only thing you could possibly say is someone should have given him a shoulder, like trod on his toes, something like that to put him off. But when that doesn't happen and the guy can meet the ball 8 foot in the air, you know, I don't know anybody in, you know,
the way he glides.
Yeah, it's insane, right?
Yeah.
And then from Tottenham's perspective, I thought we were all right. I thought Højbjerg did really well. I thought Bentancur was okay. I thought the back line was pretty poor. Kulusevski was absolutely 100% the man of the match, or him or Højbjerg were the men of the match for Tottenham. And so, but it could have gone either way. Like Man United weren't good. Like Pogba was okay, but then he was rubbish. Fred was okay, but then he was rubbish. Matic was. You know, everybody was kind of like, it was an okay game. It was there for the taking for Tottenham. We didn't play badly, but we didn't do enough to win. The difference was one guy. To answer your question about why was he taken off, I've said this a few times on a few different channels this week. It really annoys me that there's this theme with all Tottenham managers that Sonny and Kane do not get subbed. They're unsubbable because they're the only people that contribute. And whilst that might have been true before, Kulusevski has earned the right to not be considered the scapegoat when we need to bring on somebody to score a goal late on. When it was Lucas Moura before Decky, before Kulu, I kind of understood it. That we only had 2 goal scorers, therefore you can't take them off. But that's not the case anymore. And Kulu was head and shoulders above Sonny. And Lucas Moura is capable of playing on that side. He's capable of playing on either side. He's got, you know, he does what he does from the deep anyway. So for me, Sonny should have been off. I don't know what's wrong with his boots. I don't know. I don't understand boot technology. So I don't know why it was that he slipped, why Reguilon slipped, why Davies slipped, but no Man United players slipped. All that stuff is weird to me. Maybe you can educate me on that. But for sure, I think I've answered all your questions.
No, you have. You really have. And you're spot on about the Ronaldo at the start, what you said about him being the difference. That's what I would have said as well. Because let's be honest, we probably would have won that game if they didn't have Ronaldo. And at the end of the day, hindsight's a wonderful thing. And we can't stop Ronaldo playing. Like, you know, he's an asset to Man United. He is a big game player. He's got them so many points this season, even though he hasn't really hit the ground running like as much as other clubs. And that's just the difference. Like, that's why I think he's the greatest of all time. I don't want to get into that debate as well. But
no, it's not a debate. He is the greatest of all time.
But, I mean, there will probably be people that say Messi in here. Of course, I understand that as well. But for me, watching the two over the years, of course, Messi is complete, you know, pure talent. And the way he dribbles the ball, I've never seen anything like it, certainly in my lifetime. But Ronaldo, he steps up to the moments in the big games, whereas Messi doesn't as often as Ronaldo. And you know, I want to keep back on track about Spurs, of course, but also the other thing is what you said about the favoritism with Kane and Son. I don't understand that either. For me, if it was Saturday, you know, Sunday league football and your best player's lost his head and he's not playing very well, or he's got an injury, you'd take him off. You wouldn't try and play him through it. And Kulusevski for me, as well as Højbjerg, and probably I'd put Doherty in that category from Saturday. He played all right. I would say those 3 players got let down by the others. I thought Kane wasn't good enough. He didn't get involved in the game enough. He didn't drop back as much as he normally does. Son just kept slipping over, as we know. The quality wasn't there. Bentancur kept going backwards. I thought it was Winks, but with a beard and a bit taller in an Argentinian kind of vibe.
Bentancur was okay. My criticism for him was he slowed the ball down too much. When he got the ball, he didn't distribute it fast enough. But I thought he was still 6 out of 10.
But I guess I didn't watch the full game on telly. But Sean, the amount of times I saw Bentancur get it, and there was Reguilon on the other side for the switch, Doherty down the line with the right wing back run, and he was ignoring it and just playing it safe to Højbjerg or playing it back to Romero or Dyer. It was just like, please. Create more. And I'm not going to start going, you know, Bentancur.
I guess sometimes when you're watching the game on telly, you don't get to see the, you know, where the options are on the pitch, right? So I'm guessing we're coming at it from 2 different. But for me, I just thought he was, maybe you're probably spot on, mate. I'm never going to argue with you on that one. But I do think that where I would criticize him in other ways than what you've mentioned is I thought that when he did get the ball back, he just slowed the game down. Hi, Mr. K. He slowed the game down. And he did look a lot like Winksy. Like he did remind me. Yeah, you're right about that.
Oh man! And when Winks came on, the atmosphere in the away end, I can't tell you the amount of abuse he was getting. Like as soon as he got the ball a few times, he gave it away as soon as he came on. I don't know if you remember, and it's just like that. The whole atmosphere droned the away end, and I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I know everything about what happens in the away end. It was actually my first away game on Saturday, and I absolutely loved it. The atmosphere was brilliant, especially like there's no better feeling than being in that away end and it erupts when they score. But honestly, when Winks came on, that completely deflated the whole atmosphere, and this guy has to leave the club in the summer because he's just draining the fans and he's draining this club. I'm sorry. He really is.
Mate, can I? So sorry to do this to you, mate. My food's outside. Can I just put you on mute? I'll go and get my takeaway.
Yeah, of course. No worries.
I'm back in 2 minutes. Okay.
No worries. I
just got a message. Sorry, mate. Sorry.
While Sean goes and gets his Chinese or whatever else he's getting, obviously, guys, put your thoughts about the game on Saturday in the chat. Who did you think was the top 3 Spurs players, and who did you think was the bottom 3 Spurs players? But for sure, going into this Brighton game, we really need to step our ideas up as well. Ayanami made a really good point back here. Says we definitely need to improve our game in the air. We seem to usually lose our duels, which is spot on as well. Nicholas is saying, so no rearranged fixtures for North London Derby. Must be the only game that needs to be rearranged. Yeah, they'll probably leave it right to the end of the year, because they'll make it like a Sky Sports like race for top 4 thing, or they probably hope to, but now we maybe aren't even in that equation anymore. What makes Ronaldo better in my eyes than Messi is the simple fact he has achieved greatness everywhere he's played. Exactly, Messi struggling in at PSG. Everyone thought he'd break all these records, and he really hasn't. Bobby K is a really good point. Poor Winksy, he shouldn't have been able to bear the brunt of the fans' disappointment. Hope he gets a transfer. Wembley saying Sky want the North London Derby to be a winner-take-all. With exactly this is what I'm saying. But again, at the end of the day, Man United are in that mix more than us now. So there we go. Take away what delights do you have? I'm sure Sean will give us a little review after. And also he probably wants to go and eat it as well. Top Spurs players, Kane, Son and Decky. I disagree. I had to disagree, Mr. K. I'm sorry. I don't know if I meant as in from Saturday. If you still think that, then of course, wow. But for me, Son and Kane were not on it on Saturday. From what I watched, it was not ideal. Knew we were done when Winks came on. Yeah, I mean, Winks has to go. Winks has to go. Mr. K said Son, Kane and Decky is the best players on Saturday. I don't know where that's come from. Sean, what have you got then, mate?
Oh, just some meatballs.
What?
and a bit of calamari.
Who orders meatballs and calamari from the takeaway? I mean, you guys are born differently wherever you're from, but we're very average, not amazing. But I don't think United were amazing either, apart from Ronaldo. Maybe Sancho. Do you know what? I actually thought Fred had a good game. I know Sean said he was good and then average. I thought Fred had a good game. The flick for Ronaldo for that first rocket was unbelievable. And listen, Ronaldo's second ever hat-trick. Can you believe that in the Premier League?
It's insane, isn't it?
I guess he scored so many at Real Madrid and Juventus, but maybe not as many at Man United. Knew we were done when Winks got on. I've read that. I feel like PSG as a soulless club ruins the morale of anyone. We were just saying, Sean, that Mr. K thinks the reason why Messi is better than Ronaldo, let me get the comment up, is because he's achieved greatness everywhere he has played, whereas like Messi obviously struggling at PSG at the moment.
Yeah, but it's weird that he's struggling at PSG because the French league is so poor generally that I just think he's struggling because his mind's not there, his head's not in it. He wants to go back to Barcelona,
Yeah, I think he will as well. Saturday, Decky and Pierre Emil Højbjerg. Yeah, I would agree. And Doherty, I'd put in the frame as well. I can't believe I'm saying that. Mr. Case, I thought he meant overall. I think he thought I meant, maybe that's just me not phrasing the question properly. I asked the chat who their top 3 players were for Spurs on Saturday, and he said like Kane, Son, and Decky. And I was like, "Are you sure?" And he's just got confused. He says, "Lol." In that case, I go Tortinho, Dyer, and the Ball Boy. Brilliant. never write Ronaldo off, says Jono. And Marcelino says, so Marcelino, disrespect there. Sorry, not Marcelino. Rude Man says, now that we lost against United, we're probably going to win tomorrow. Our next few fixtures look very favourable. We should be looking to get a winning streak going. This inconsistency is killing me, and that's exactly why it's killing me as well, Rude Man. That's why I called the title of the video WLWLWL, and then W tomorrow. What do you reckon, Sean?
I think we're going to smash them tomorrow. Well, not smash them. I think it'll be a fairly tough game.
Don't give me the score prediction yet, because we'll do that at the end. But give me your thoughts on how the game will go.
I think it all depends. I think we need if you look back to the 3-1 win against Brighton, a lot of people were in the kind of community. Excuse me.
You got a bit of calamari stuck already.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. In the days afterwards, we were all reviewing, and everyone was like, "We smashed Brighton. We can go on now." I don't think we smashed Brighton. I think they had lots of chances. I thought Bissouma had Højbjerg and Winks wrapped up into cotton, with string all afternoon, especially in the second half. If it wasn't for Neil Maupay missing some sitters, it could have been a different game. Mm-hmm. I think we need a big game from Bentancur tomorrow. We need a massive game from Doherty and from Reguilon, because Lamptey and Cucurella are super dangerous for them. I also think we might be vulnerable from Lewis Dunk in the air. He's quite good. He's quite good in the air, offensively and defensively, and he's
always been good in the air as well. By the way, I mean I've been watching Brighton since they're in the Championship. He's always been that threat in the air from corners and set pieces for them, and he's scored a couple this year, I believe, actually. So you're right on that one for sure. Right on that one for sure, Sean.
Yeah, I think there's 4 or 5 players that they have that are threats. I think overall, though, we're a much better team, and I think at the end of the day, we should win. I won't tell you the score, obviously, but I think we should be able to get it. But I'm more worried about, West Ham, obviously, on Sunday. And then I think we have Liverpool and Newcastle the next 2 games after that. So for me, if I know that a lot of people are going to be like top 4, it's done. For me, it's never done until it's mathematically done, and then I'll just lower my level. Agreed. And so, but if I'm still there hoping, and for my hope to continue, first of all, we have to win tomorrow. And secondly, I think we realistically probably need to get 9 points minimum from the next 4 games. If we don't, or 10 points if possible. Liverpool's a tough one, but we should be looking for 10 points, and then hope that we can get favours done from Liverpool against Arsenal, Aston Villa away for Arsenal. There's lots of games that Arsenal have got 7 away games that none of them are easy. Not any of them are easy. So, I think that we have to just focus on our own game and then hope that the chips fall on the right side of the plate. But I think tomorrow it's going to be a tough game. We just need to keep Bissouma quiet. I'm not too worried about Maupay or anything like that, mate. But I just think Bissouma's the danger man, and so is and so are Lamptey and Cucurella. And if we can get big games out of Bentancur, Doherty, and Reguilon, then we're probably in for a good night. I hope.
Yeah, I think you're right, and your point that you made about Bissouma getting the better of Winks and Højbjerg, I think you're right as well. But when Bentancur came on in that game, I remember it really did change the game, and we ended up getting a third, I believe, when he came on, and it was just like he just controlled it. He made a couple of nice skills, and he looked comfortable, and it really did change that midfield setting. And hopefully, we have him obviously from the start tomorrow, really pulling those strings, really causing kind of diffusing Bissouma out of the game and controlling that midfield. I think that's a really good point, Sean. A couple of comments. Romano has posted about there you go. That was on the request to bet Sean to crack open that red wine with his takeaway. There it is. Love it. Romano has posted about Jonathan David. He said he's one to watch in the summer. I'd love to sign him, but can we really compete with the other clubs? Listen, Andre's your man for Jonathan David, the Canadian himself, but he is unbelievable. And if we can actually get him, it would be unbelievable. But I think the likes of apparently Haaland to Man City's done. I don't know how true that is, but Jonathan David will be looked at by the likes of PSG, by the likes of Real Madrid, by the likes of Barcelona. He will probably be snapped up by a bigger club. Mr. K saying we could lose twice in a row and break that pattern. Yeah, of course. Ainami saying I hate playing Brighton away. Not a good feeling. And Bissouma was a monster in their whole team. Shows up, dear God. Yeah, if their whole team shows up, yeah. I think if Brighton lose 6 games in a row, the pressure starts going on to them because at the end of the day, they were up in the top half of the table at the start of the year, and now they're starting to drop, and it's like they're at like 3 or 4 losses away from getting pulled back into the relegation mix. I think. I mean, I don't think they will. I don't think they will. But what I'm saying is, Brighton are a club that have ruthless owners. Like, they got rid of Chris Hughton pretty rapid, even though he'd done such a good job when they got promoted. And Potter is loved by Brighton, but I mean, their fans will probably start. Honestly, that's how football works. You know how it works. You know, no manager is safe, and I just think maybe the relegation bit's a bit over the top, but I do think that, you know, if they start slipping more and more down that table, it's going to really change the atmosphere at that club.
Where are they now? Like 14th?
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think they have slipped right down the table. Like I said, they were in the top half, and now they're 13th. They're on the worst form in the Premier League. They're on 33 points, and they're 11 points above the drop with 10 games remaining. It would take a real mental, you know, mess up to get relegated from that. But I mean, you know, say Everton win their next 2 games and Brighton lose their next 2, that's then 4 or 5 points. So you know, you just never know. You just never know in football.
But for them to get dragged in, you're going to need Watford or Burnley,
Brentford
and
as well.
You know, there's lots of them that you're going to need to have a turnaround, and this doesn't happen. So I think Brighton will be okay, but they're not looking good, to be honest.
Spot on. Sorry, Mr. K saying, personally, I reckon the boys will be up for it. 4-1 Spurs incoming. Wow. I think we need to play with a clear mind instead of constantly obsessing with top 4. It can be toxic and damage us. Listen, I don't want to say it, but top 4 is slipping way more out of our grasp. I mean, I think I'd be happy with Europa League at this point. I can't believe I've just said that, but I mean, still, it's going to be a really mediocre season again. Bobby K is saying, with our performances being so unpredictable, we need to stop worrying about other results. Similar to what you're saying, actually, you guys are on the wavelength. Need to start playing to win and let our own results pull us up and not rely on other teams. Yeah, exactly. And the other teams, I mean, the fact that Man United, Arsenal, Wolves, West Ham, Chelsea, Liverpool all won. I mean, Liverpool obviously not really involved, but the fact that all of our top half rivals won is just, you know, that was salt in the wounds as well. Sean leaves the room and changing the barrel of wine. The old one's finished. That's class, Mr.
The one that's under the table, Mr. K.
He's actually honestly, I've seen it. He's actually got a tap of like beer as well under there that he just gets out of the keg. Leo Bull saying, I was just thinking, wonder if the boys are live checked. And what you know, Leo Bull, what can I say? You know, we're the gift that keeps on giving. But listen, I've got to say to the 15 people that are in here, we have been a little more inconsistent with going live at the moment. And please do bear with us. I mean, like I said, I was away. I was at the last 2 games, actually. So that obviously affected the content. But, I mean, should be back to normal now, guys, doing the match views after the game, doing the match previews, doing the fan phone in Fridays, which was the first one we missed. That'll be back on Friday. And we're actually planning to do a quiz, the rematch between the Irish Hotspur and Tottenham on tour, which was absolutely brilliant last time. It got so many views, so many nice comments as well. We'll get that going as well for you guys, so stay tuned. On your bike, Scott says, definitely need 6 points out of the next 2 games, and then it's on to that international break. Oh, don't even tell me about the international break. I can't stand it. Cannot stand it. I'd rather honestly watch Peaky Blinders and have a takeaway. Maybe a bit of calamari with Sean. Nicholas Collison is saying we sit there and talk about the other teams and their fixtures and predict points game by game and see what happens. I agree, and see what happens at the end of the season. Spot on indeed, Nicholas. And let's just quickly. Normally, I've obviously have Andre reviewing the players, his little top 3 players to review, but I think you're right, Sean. I'm going off the back of what you're saying. In terms of the 3 players, I think we need to watch out for Lamperty. He's going to really be up against it. Reguilon's really going to be up against it against Lamperty. I think you're really, really right about that. Same as the other Frank Cucurella up against, obviously, Doherty. Doherty needs to be on that A game we've seen for the last couple of games. Right. And then Bissouma against Bentancur is going to be really interesting. I think you've got the top 3 there spot on, which is what Andre would have normally done. Who do you think is, if you had to narrow it down to one?
Call me Chandre tonight.
Can I change your name? Chandre. No, listen, that's spot on. But what was I going to say? If you had to whittle it down to one, Sean, who would be the main threat and why?
for Brighton.
For Brighton, the main threat for us is Dohertinho, as Mr. K said.
I think the main threat is. Listen, like Neil Maupay is, someone you like. One game in 100 he turns it on, or let's say 5 games in 100 he turns it on. But when he does turn it on, he can be dangerous. And what I don't want to see is the Tottenham back three focusing entirely on suppressing the midfield or trying to come out. That they're probably going to look at it and go, if we can keep, like I say, those three quiet, and then also Lewis Dunk from set pieces, then we shouldn't have a problem. Maupay has got it in him when he wants to do damage. So I think that he'll probably get a chance. Maupay will probably get a chance or two. I think Basuma's the danger man. He's obviously the danger man. The guy's so far above the level of the team that he's playing at. If he could get rid of his off the field troubles, I'd love him at Tottenham. But in the first game, Lamptey was in Reguilon's pocket. Lamptey was in what side? Lamptey's right back. Yeah. So Lamptey was in Reguilon's pocket the entire game. Cucurella was the danger man. Cucurella had a lot of wins and positivity and opportunities. I forget, it wasn't Doherty, was it? It was Emerson Royale that was playing down the right back then. Like, if Cucurella could do that against Emerson, who's a better defender than Doherty, then that's probably Cucurella's probably where we need to be watching out for. I'd say.
Okay.
I think they'll attack down their wings as much as they can.
Okay, I'm going to call one outside the box because I always like to do that, and I always like to then come on the review show and start saying that I got it right and I cursed it. But I'm going to say the one to watch for if he starts, and he has been playing a lot of 90 minutes recently, is Alexis McAllister for Brighton. It's a good creative player. This season so far, played 23, scored 4, assisted 2, so not incredible stats, but he does come off the bench a lot, and he does create chances. He does create chances for Maupay and gives them another option more centrally rather than down the wing back channels. I think that he will play tomorrow, and he just watch out for him. He's a little bit like, I would compare him to a mix between Lucas and Lamela. He's like, he's quite feisty. He actually has 3 yellow cards in those appearances as well. But he's someone that will not stop running. He's like a little pest. He will always try and weave in and out our defenders or try and get the ball through in the box rather than the wing back. So I do think Alexis McAllister is one to watch. And when you're watching the game, Sean, if he scores, just remember my voice telling you about this.
I'll call you out for sure.
No worries. I know what you're saying. I do think we'll be up 3 or 5 losses back to back. It's unacceptable. We have to show up some intensity to counter them. Intensity is important. I mean, on Saturday, I know we didn't quite completely finish the Man United review, but wow. I mean, the build-up play, I don't know what it was like on telly, but when I was at the stadium, all the fans around me were going, hurry up, because it was so slow from defence.
It was so slow.
Eric Dyer, walk, pass to Højbjerg. Højbjerg turns, bit of intensity, pass out to Bentinker, walk sideways. And this is when we were 3-2 down. We were trying to get back into the game. This is when we were 2-1 down and try and get back into the game. We should be chasing that game when we keep going behind, not like going, oh, well, we've got a bit of time here. Let's, dilly-dally about, pass the ball sideways, pass the ball backwards. It was so slow. We have to be on it, and that is a great point from Ayanami. And for sure. Leo Ball says, would you take a loss to break the pattern or keeping up win-loss? That's an outrageous comment, Leo Ball. That is an outrageous comment.
Yeah, no. I wouldn't.
I'll
tell you what I'll do. I'll say no, but I'll take a win against West Ham to break the pattern on Sunday after we win tomorrow, and then we win at West Ham. That'll break the pattern as well, Leo. So I'll take that one instead.
Yes, win-win. Yeah, we like that, Leo Ball. But please, no, we're not that superstitious. It's not like some kind of curse we're on. Well, maybe it is. But listen, Mark Cousins saying the main threat is ourselves. We need to kick up the arse and told win FFS. I mean, you're right as well. You're right. And I think also the main threat is it's just morale. I feel like the team just doesn't really. They went off the pitch again. I mean, another angle of being at the game. They kind of came over to cut the fans. Conte did. I believe Son did. Dyer did. But then some of the players just walk straight off, and it's like they don't care. They got their paycheck, they're off, they're they're going to enjoy their Sunday with their family. It's like maybe I'm reading too much into it because I was there. But listen, Sean, I do feel like the morale obviously in this team really needs to change, doesn't it?
Well, you listen to Harry Kane yesterday's interview with Sky
About the
Sports,
transfers.
and he's saying, but he was saying like there's nobody, like everybody's pumped to be working with Conte. It's not going to be quick, but we're getting there.
Doesn't look like it.
I don't think it does either. To be honest, I think the end of the season can't come quick enough, and then we can rebuild and see where we go. But look, tomorrow, to Mark Cousins' point, like I do think that if we turn up, we will win. Simple. If we don't turn up, we won't. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Brighton aren't good enough. If we turn up and play our best football, then it's 3 points. So you're right. You're right, Mark. If we, it's down to us basically.
Yeah, exactly that. You're spot on. And that interview was interesting. You're very right. On your bite, Scott says, do you think we can go on an unbeaten run, or do you think we just bottle it when it matters? It doesn't fill me with a lot of confidence, of course, but I do think we can go back to getting on a little bit of a run. Don't forget when Conte came in, we were 10 unbeaten. So there has to be some kind of belief we can do it. Cameron Jess Sinner says, big up James and Sean, big yourself up, Cameron Jess. Thank you very much for joining us. A couple more comments and then we'll try and potentially get the score predictions, because I know Sean does have to go and then wrap things up. But Ayanami saying it was so frustrating to watch us against United. Slips, passing it back, not being in the box, passes going nowhere. We looked like Tin Man from the Wizard of Oz. That's brilliant. These comments today, lads, and ladies, are really cracking me up. Ever since we lost to Chelsea 3 times in a month, we haven't had the same consistency. Yeah, Chelsea maybe again are going to claim that they ruined our season and stuff like that. They always try and claim something. Maybe they need to claim a new owner and focus on their own stuff. Do we think? Do we know how long Sessegnon will be out for? Listen, I actually
6 weeks, right?
How is it? 6 weeks?
Well, the initial what's his name? Alistair Gold said they're saying 4 weeks, but he's been told by insiders it's more likely to be 6.
Wow. I'm a bit out of date on the news. I know that's bad coming from a Spurs page, but if I had my main newsman with me, Andre, I'm sure he'd be able to answer. But honestly, guys, there might be stuff on Spurs Related on social media. I know that sounds bad. That will give that transcript like Sean just said, but I haven't. Honestly, I've been very busy. I haven't actually looked at that myself. But as Sean said, I'm sure he's right. 6 weeks from the inside information, it does sound right. I mean, the guy is very injury prone. I was actually discussing with George Killier, Spurs YouTuber, at the game on Saturday, and he said that I was saying I think we should get rid of Sessegnon in the summer, not because he's not done amazing, but because we've still got a young asset and he's injury prone, and I don't want to keep having an injured backup left back every few months.
I agree. It's not every 3, it's every other month. It's that often. He's been injured more than he's not. Apparently this is the same muscle, it's the same left-sided hamstring, but the left hamstring has got 3 muscles, and the one that always goes is the left-hand side, and apparently this time round it's the right-hand side of the 3 muscles.
Oh, that's not good then.
But there's a little the way that Alistair Gold interpreted was, it's positive that it's a different injury, even though it's the same muscle. It's not the same thing going every time. So
okay,
I don't know, whatever. Still 6 weeks out. It can't continue. It's too.
Well, it's the rest of the season, isn't it? Pretty much.
Yeah,
I mean, it's got to change. It's got to change. I mean, definitely one to talk about in another podcast. And then Skip, I don't think he's featuring tomorrow. I think he's still got this reoccurring problem. And I think we're going to see Bentancur and Højbjerg again in midfield, which I'm not too disappointed about. I think that's still probably, I think that's probably our strongest 2. I do like Skip, and I do think he's been really important for us at the start of the season. But I think Bentancur and Højbjerg are starting to prove that they work really well together, and I'm not sure if Skip and Bentancur will work well, or Højbjerg and we've seen Højbjerg and Skip. But anyway, let's see. But I don't think Skip will be featuring tomorrow in Wembley. I really want Basuma in the summer. Hopefully he's a target. Spot on. I do want Basuma, and again, Sean rates him very highly as well. And I'm saying it's safe to say most injuries are until the end of the international break. I mean, the international break will probably have some injuries as well. You know how it goes. You can send players out on their duties and they come back injured. But listen, guys, I know Sean has to go, and I was only going to make this one a 45-minute one today. Yeah, it's not good, is it? But let's get everyone's score predictions in the chat now, guys, for tomorrow night at Brighton at the AMEX Stadium. But before I read those out, Sean, I know you're dying to tell me your score prediction and your scorers' predictions. Off you go, mate.
Yeah, 2-0 Tottenham, and I think it will be Harry Kane and Kulusevski.
You love Kulusevski, don't you?
I do love. I love him.
And he was brilliant on Saturday. He was brilliant.
Yeah, he was my favourite. He was from November, back in November when I first started talking about it's actually before I was even on this community thing. Just as I started doing it, I was like, get Kulusevski. If we can get him, he's a bargain. And I was so happy when Luis Diaz was. I thought Luis Diaz would be great, but I thought Kulusevski would be better and better value, and he's not proven me wrong. So, yeah, he'll get this one tomorrow, and he'll also get a man of the match performance as well.
Oh, that's a bold prediction. I like that. 2-0 Spurs, Kane, Kulusevski, and Kulusevski man of the match. Guys, get your score predictions in. A couple more minutes, and I like that. But I'm going for a 2-1. I think it'll be a tight game. 2-1 Spurs. I honestly think Brighton will score first. And then the Amex will be like, you know, and then Brighton fans go flat when they concede, right? Brighton fans go flat.
How does it go?
I've completely missed my train of thought, Sean.
Sorry.
2-1. Brighton are going to score first. It's not going to be. What am I saying? Who it's not going to be? It's going to be McAllister. And then Spurs will come back second half, score 2 goals in the second half. Kane will get a penalty. And I did think Kulusevski. I don't want to say the same. Son just looks flat at the moment. I'm not saying Son. I could see it being a late header. Romero, go on, Kane and Romero. Here we go. The chat, the best bit of the show. Here we go. 7-0 Spurs, says Mark Cousins. 2-0 Spurs, Darren Winks. Oh, Bobby K, you've been on doing those driving on the buses too often, mate. You need a rest. 3-0 says Catman Jess Spurs. Catman Jess Spurs. There we go. You're Catman Jess Spurs now. 3-0 Spurs, Harry Kane. Denise. Who's Denise? And Dyer. Sean.
Sorry, Decky, I think he's saying. Yeah.
Oh, Decky. Oh, got you.
I think that's what he's trying to say.
Sorry, I thought I actually was also like questioning it, but also questioning if my mic had gone because Sean went so quiet. I'm not used to him like going quiet for so long. I'm used to cackling in my ear every 5 seconds. Leo Ball says 4-0 Dyer will be at the top of his game. Love that, Leo Ball. Love that. You know, and also please don't predict a Brighton win to break the chain. You know, Dr. Tottenham will be available if they need Dr. Tottenham. Army 1-0 and someone scores in the 70th, 80th minute to make it 2-1 for either team. Okay. So you're saying 2-1 either team. I mean, it's very sitting on the fence, Army. I expect better from you. I've got to expect a Tottenham win. Decky low. I like your prediction, Mark. 3-1 Kudu says, Miles, big yourself up, Miles. Still love that profile picture. Still absolutely love it. It's Sean's favourite player with the... He got a cigarette in his mouth or like a...
No, it's a lollipop. It's a lollipop stick.
Oh, he's an innocent man, this guy. And the goggles, of course, it's absolutely brilliant. And he's going a cheeky goal from Benjamin Thomas Davies as well. Kulu and Kane. What do you think of that?
Love it.
I think Bobby K's on drugs. Winks to score. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what Bobby K's been doing. If Brighton score first, we're done for, I'm afraid. 3-0 Kane hat-trick. Love that. And spell check. Got to love Denise, my favourite player. Catman Jess. Honestly, every time I see your name now, I'm just going to say, welcome on in, Denise. I think that's the most fitting thing. But let's let Sean enjoy his calamari a little bit more and his red wine. And
that's done. That's done, but I've got to jump, mate.
Loud through it. But guys, before we go, Sean, do you want to do a little plug on your channel? I'll put the link in the chat. And then, of course, we will wrap things up.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, Spurs Talk Show is where you can find me on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram.
Soon to be Spotify. Soon to be Spotify as well.
Soon to be Apple, iTunes, Spotify, and the Evening Standard audio broadcast. But yeah, that's where you can find me. I'm on the march to 700. I'm on 645. Everything's gone really quickly in the last month. So
wow, he's going to be overtaking us soon, and then we'll have to pay him to come on. But listen, there it is for Sean's channel below. Go and check him out, guys. Go and give him a sub. And if you're obviously not sub to us, please do sub as well. Couple more comments, then we'll wrap things up. Denise Club Legend, just really good cider. Lots of it. Love it, Bobby K. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself for sure. But guys, please do enjoy the game tomorrow. We'll be live after the game, whether it's Andre, myself, or both. I'm not too sure yet, but we will be live for a review after the game. Please do join us then around 10 p.m. UK time. Thank you, Sean, for joining me. Thank you, chat, for being amazing. You've been amazing, Spurs Relatables. Sean's loved his calamari, and we've all had a great time. Enjoy the game, and come on, you Spurs.
Game day!
Tottenham playing on a Wednesday night.